What is up, friends, and welcome back to the video. So we are out at the Bronx for some hard enduro training, and I thought I would use this video as an opportunity to do some voiceover commentary. I haven't done it in a while, and yeah, I think this is a good one for that. So the layout that we did, the idea behind it is to do like a race simulation. So we have two loops on the mountain. We have a white loop, which is an easier loop, and then we have the red loop that is definitely the more technical loop. You guys will notice as you go through the video that the names of the sections are at the top right hand of the screen. Every time we move to a new section, the name will be displayed there. We do the cross-country track, which is not in this video because it was just super muddy and the camera just kept getting spattered with mud, so we cut that out. But the idea is we do the cross-country loop, and then we do a combination of red and white sections on the mountain, and that'll be one lap. Then we run the cross-country lap back again, and then we do the other segments, the other red and white segments. So you can essentially run 3 laps around the mountain without hitting the same climbs every lap, if that makes sense. But anyways, this is the first climb. It's always super tricky, especially in the mornings. We had a bit of rain in the morning, so even though the soil looks fairly dry, as soon as you run over the rocks, they get pretty slick pretty quickly. So it's always challenging to get up here, and the rain always washes down new rocks. So every time it rained, the trail looks a little bit different. So it's struggle bus up this hill, and yeah, I struggled to find a good flow at the start of the loop, but we start going a little bit better after I'm properly warmed up. So I'm going to keep quiet for a little bit and let you guys enjoy my struggles before we carry on chatting.
God damn. Oh, so this is the first technical climb. Not the best line, but that top line I messed up supremely. Fuck. Whew. So I had to carry my bike out of that same hole 4 times. So I'm already toast. But there's no way but up.
So this first section completely freaking destroyed me. I'm usually like hit and miss with that first climb. Sometimes I fly up there and sometimes I like just struggle all the freaking way. So that basically concludes Fort. Then we lead into Ox Trail. So Ox Trail leads up to the top of the mountain. This is like a simple flat line, as you guys can see. Zane sarcastically clapping there for my pathetic attempt. But yeah, this mountain can really flip and punish you if you're not ready the day. So you really need to commit and have confidence when you ride here. We do usually ride with other folks. So on this day we did this outride. There were two other friends of ours that also joined us, and for the guys that are a little bit less experienced, we usually kind of assist them through the more technical terrain, give them some tips and help them get up the mountain if they need help. It's been really cool to see a lot of our friends progress that ride with us, and I think that like the training, or not necessarily training, but the input that we give the guys really does help them. Anyways, this is base camp. So we ride down the top of the mountain, and as you guys can see, it's super rocky, unequally spaced rocks, so it really helps to keep the momentum going and not to get hung up on the rocks. Now we lead into Traverse, the first part of Traverse. So this basically leads down the whole side of the mountain. This is a full-on off-camber section, and this portion here, it's a nice little zigzag down, and what we currently practicing is doing like those nose pivots that Zane did. So you want to pivot the bike on the front wheel and bring the back end around. This, even though it looks like you waste a lot of energy, and in the way that we do it, you still do waste a bit of energy, but it takes a lot less out of you than getting off and picking up the back of the bike and actually moving it by hand. With this method, you just utilize the suspension to rotate the bike around. But ideally, where we want to get to is you actually turn into the corner, and while you're still rolling, you initiate an endo and rotate the wheel in one fluid motion. But baby steps, we're learning. This is why we go and punish ourselves on this mountain, as to hone technique. And if you guys live in South Africa or in Gauteng especially, and you want to come ride with us, if you want to ride these trails, one tip that I would give is practice your pivot turns, because there's a lot of pivots that you need to do on this trail.
Not feeling super balanced on the bike today.
So now we're going down DTF, and no, it's not that DTF, it's down the front. So there's a line that runs from the back of the mountain all the way over to the front where we're going down now, hence the name Down the Front. Unfortunately, I had some other responsibilities and I could not attend this last weekend's Farm Jam race. I was a little bit jealous. A lot of the guys on our riding group and a lot of our friends that were at the race did really well, so super stoked for them and their great results at the race. But yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. We definitely going to get prepped for the next EWXC race at the end of May. We managed to podium the last EWXC, so we would definitely want to replicate that result. So this training loop that we have laid out here, the idea with it is it's obviously a lot more technical than what you would get in an EWXC race. So the idea being ride super technical stuff, kind of like hardcore extreme enduro stuff, and then the enduro or hard enduro terrain in the EWXC seems a lot easier. You know, the whole bleeding, training, sweat and wall kind of thing. I just need to work on my fitness a bit more. The last couple of weeks I didn't really get a lot of time to train, but overall I think I can still pull it off as like a full month before the next race. So there's amazing scenery on this little mountain, and that river is awesome as we go on to Riverside. And his brother Andre and their sister Nadine, they are avid water sports fanatics, and they basically did competition level, like international level competition for barefoot water skiing. So by the next summer I think we're going to try and do a lot more lifestyle content, and hopefully we can get out on the water and Zane can maybe teach me how to properly wakeboard, slalom, and maybe do some barefoot water skiing. If you guys are keen to see that kind of stuff, you know, more general lifestyle stuff and some other action sports, let me know in the comments. We aim to please here. So I got through this section decently quick. Riverside's a lot of fun. A lot of the sections here at the Bronx, it's definitely high risk, because through the whole Riverside there's definitely a potential for you to drop into the river and drown your bike, but it's a lot of fun. I don't know if there's something wrong with me and Zane, but it's kind of the higher risk the route is, the more fun it is, as you'll see as we continue through the loop. Now we drop down into forest. I'm actually pretty surprised that this section did not completely get flooded with all the rain we got recently in South Africa. Here you can see it's a little bit swampy, but we just take it nice and slow here so we don't loosen up the ground too much, causing like a little mud bog. Now obviously we didn't do all of this in one continuous loop, because we were with two other riders. We like smash a section, like run a section as fast as we can, and then we'd stop and rest and wait for the other guys to catch up. We definitely ran the individual sections. Here we go up the back. So earlier we went down the front. This is the back portion, up the back obviously. But as I was saying, when me and Zane go out there alone, we're eventually going to try and run it at full race pace and not rest. But yeah, with the extreme level stuff, it is pretty difficult. It's very taxing on your body. Nice little pivot there from Zane. He's killing it on his KTM. Currently his YZ250X is getting a custom fan bracket and fan mounted for it, so it does not overheat. But yeah, he's got his KTM running pretty sweet now, thanks to Claude, another rider on our group. He is like the KTM electric start guru. So Zane is running a 2013 KTM, and man, that bike is freaking dialed now. Decent pivot turn from me there. I get the pivots down, but I'm still struggling to kind of get the drive after I did the pivot. Now we go into the most extreme climb of the whole loop. This is called Cannon. We've taken a couple of guys up here. It is very, very, very tough. Like this is still pretty simple stuff. From here on out, it's just in your face technical stuff. It's a lot of rocks, so there's not really a lot of flow to it. Yeah, I find the challenge very enjoyable. If you were to ask me while we were riding, there's a couple of moments where I would be like, yeah, I seriously regret doing it, but for the most part, the challenge is really enjoyable. As you can see, I'm like kind of stopping and going, stopping and going, stopping and going. I really struggled on the day with the KT to kind of carry momentum. It is only a 230cc, but that's not really an excuse. My clutch control was just not on point on the day. Definitely not the bike. The bike is seriously capable. Obviously, you do have a benefit running a bigger capacity bike like a 250 or 300, but if you just adapt your riding style a bit, then you can take this thing up anything.
Yeah.
Contemplating moving the bike, and then Zane just tells me to ride it out, man. Just ride it out. We usually give each other a lot of grief on the trails. If someone tries to chicken out, or if someone struggles, you know, always coming in with that the positive reinforcement, let's call it that. And that's another struggle. Most of the trail you're traversing along the side of the mountain, so it's all off-camber stuff, and if you just like go a little bit off the trail, it's very loose, so then the bike can easily slide out.
Zane doesn't have balls anymore. The bike literally just smashed him off. So you can either go up that step up, or you can hit a little line to the left. I might get fucking sprayed in the eyes, yeah? From vagina. There we go. Crying about his testes. I don't know what is.
Alright, so we are just like getting close to the halfway point of the video. If you're still watching, thank you very much, I appreciate it. And if you're enjoying this video, please hit that like button and hit subscribe. And if you don't mind, maybe show the video to your mates, share it. We've been seeing a good upward trend with the channel lately. We recently broke 1,000 subscribers, super stoked on that. I appreciate everyone that's been supporting the videos and supporting the channel. We really want to grow it into something big, and Zane and myself, we are working on a lot of stuff in the back end, working on a website where we're going to have a whole bunch of cool merch, some of our own riding gear that we are designing and making, the whole bunch of other cool products that we use ourselves that we would obviously recommend you guys to use, and just a lot of other epic stuff. Eventually we want to get some track reviews on there, you know, content of all the different loops at the various tracks in the area, and information about vendors, information about races, just to kind of have a great source for the community to find everything that they need in their area. So that's still a lot of work that we need to do in the future, but very, very much looking forward to it. So yeah, stay tuned to.
And then that just wastes.
So yeah, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and obviously we'll announce the developments as we go along on there, and we'll also give it a mention in the videos. As you guys can see, it's struggle all the way. If you
really struggling today.
if you kind of do the whole stop and go thing, you break your momentum, and this is a portion where it's really important to keep momentum. Now we start going up the last bit of cannon. This is like the most gnarly part. Everything from here on out is pretty much between like 35 and 45 degree like gradients. Super steep, super gnarly, high risk, just like we like it. Remember what I mentioned about the pivot turns. So the pivot up and static zaps and pivots. That's the only way to get up here. I would really love to see some pro level riders, maybe some of the guys that ride in like Pro A, Pro B in the EWXC series or the low felt Enduro series. I would love to see them do a lap around this loop. So you know, tag your favorite pro rider. Maybe we can get like Clayton Card or Heinrich Aust or someone out here, or Armand Fourie. Like maybe if you guys can share it enough, tag Billy Bolt. Tag Billy Bolt in the video, in the comments. Maybe the next time he's in South Africa, he can pull through and ride a loop with us. That would be pretty sick.
Okay, so this last part is obviously, as you can see where Zane's bike is, it's definitely about 45 degrees, I would say. Yeah, like high to mid 45 degrees in incline. As you can see, the other guys are down there. So yeah, you just gotta like pop it. And yeah, a lot of pivot work. So if you guys want to do, this is like the most hectic climb, but for anything at the Bronx there's a lot of pivots. So if you guys want to come join us for rides here, practice your pivots. A massive shout out to Moto Pro for you know, supporting me and giving me this bike to thrash. Every now and then I kind of have to pinch myself, because when I started this YouTube journey, I never thought that I would have you know, kind of factory support from a company giving me a bike, sorting out all the maintenance on the bike, because obviously all of you that ride know that the sport is pretty freaking expensive. So I am very appreciative of Moto Pro, and you guys should definitely go and check them out on Instagram and Facebook. Great quality, affordable motorcycles, and as you can see, they are super capable. That works.
In a moment you guys will see when I help Zane up his line that he usually takes. I'm taking the air quoted easier line, which is still pretty, I wouldn't say difficult. It's just obviously high risk and a large chance that you could loop the bike out if you don't execute good clutch control. But it's not the, like this mountain is by far the smallest mountain in the region. There's still loads more terrain to ride in this area. We just need to work on getting permission from property owners to ride on the property. You know, this is all privately owned land, so that's a bit of a mission, and obviously people don't always want a bunch of noisy bikes on the property, but you'll see in a moment the view from the top that there is a massive mountain range on the other side of the river. We've ridden there a bit, but
Getting a little bit sketchy.
just maintaining this loop and keeping the loop marked and cleared out is a freaking full-time job, along with the sprint enduro track and the cross-country track that we have. Here we go. Here is Zane's turn, and that gives you a bit of a perspective of the angle of the climb.
Let's go.
Now he likes going up the left here. I think it is actually a quicker line. It's just obviously more risk. And now Zane has a moose and a rock hard freaking mud and sand tire. We don't really believe in using gummy tires, even though they do work. That's obviously not a debate, but yeah, if a tire has knobbies, it'll do the job. So don't get caught up in the whole gummy tire hype thing. You know, you don't need the best kit, you don't need the best bike, you don't need the most expensive parts on your bike. Just get your bike to a reliable point, make sure it has some of the essential protection parts, and just freaking ride. There you can see the view and all the mountains in the back there. Zane riding like a freaking animal up here. He is definitely one crazy dude. Very good friend of mine. But yeah, the seat time and the experience that you'll gain from just riding is gonna benefit you much more than having the latest and greatest or whatever. So just run what you have, just freaking ride, man. And as you can see, if you intend on doing this type of riding, like doing hard / extreme enduro stuff, mechanical sympathy needs to be a little bit lower on the priority list. And that's Cannon complete. So now we head around Sniper. So this runs around the top end of the mountain. Also nice and scenic, but it can catch you off guard, and everything along the left hand side is a pretty freaking steep drop.
Yeah, that was close.
Actually, I kind of dislike riding this mountain in the summer because like all the grass and all those little shrubs are quite deceiving. In the winter when you ride here, when everything's kind of died down, or after they did some burning on the mountain, you can really see like the extent of the gnarliness. Alright, so this is the end of the first lap that we did, going down final descent. Also a nice and steep downhill. Gnarly off-camber stuff, and a lot of potential to freewheel down here, because there's a lot of rocks that kind of slide down and get stuck underneath your back wheel. So, you know, running light on the brakes and you know, just maintaining good balance down here. You got to keep a cool head. You can't freak out and lose your shit, otherwise you're gonna freewheel down and you'll definitely get injured. So just had a quick pause there just to check how the other guys were doing, and the one rider, I forget his name, apologies for that, but his front end washed out on final descent, and he took a pretty freaking big tumble. Fortunately, he did not get hurt, his bike did not get too badly damaged. He was still able to ride the rest of the day. Alright, and after another cross-country lap, we are going into the second lap on the mountain. So this is also part of Ox Trail. This is essentially the start of the white loop. As you can see, it's a fair bit easier than the start of the first lap. And then we bounce into Z. So Z runs right above the first portion of Traverse. So this is just a little bit of an easier way for the less experienced guys to get down. As you can see, Zane attempting the front end pivot there. I seriously messed up here, and I actually, I think it was here when I stopped recording, and yeah, continued after I went around the turn. I took a bit of a tumble there. And then we head straight into the second portion of Traverse. So this runs alongside of the rest of the front of the mountain. Another little zigzag section going down here. My rear wheel got, well, the swing arm got hung up on a rock over there, and struggled with that little zigzag portion there as well. And there you go, that's how easy it is for the front end to wash out. I'd actually like to see what the gradient is here. It has to be more than, or about 30 degrees, if not more. It's a, you know, super fun section. And then we lead into base camp. This is a quick little climb before we head up and kind of ride around on the top of the mountain again. And from here on in the video, you'll see me taking my hands off and shaking them around a lot more. At this point, the fatigue really started setting in, The last couple of weeks of being lethargic and not training really bites you when you do this kind of riding. And yeah, I wasn't cramping up yet, but I was starting to find it fairly hard to hold on to the bike.
Traffic jam.
In the next video that you guys will see, we are going to be focusing primarily on having fun and doing skills training. So it's going to be a lot of wheelies, a lot of stoppies, a lot of jumps, circle wheelies or attempts at circle wheelies. I want to try and do that little Paul Torres trick where you ride up a tree and kind of bounce it off the tree. I'm interested in figuring out how to do that. A lot of log jumps, and yeah, just some great technical training. So yeah, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be sure to get notified when the next video drops. This is probably my favorite section of the mountain. From here it's got a bit better flow, and you'll see in a moment there is a super gnarly drop that we are going to pass over. Definitely, I would say the most dangerous segment. You'll see why in a minute, but yeah. This is Lookout. It's a pretty nice scenery as you go around the top of the mountain. Now those mountains there in the background are much larger than this little hill. I would say it's like a hill compared to the other mountains there. Also worked through this section at a fairly decent pace. Here comes the Gnar. Here's the Gnarly section. So if you drop down here, that's a good like 10-meter drop. So definitely the most dangerous section of the loop, but very nice. Gets the adrenaline pumping. And then we waste no time getting into another super gnarly section, which is Good Drop. This is another favorite of mine. Super sketchy, or actually less sketchy than you would think. But yeah, it took a long time before I was able to actually ride the bike down here. I'm still very cautious because I am a bit more of a cautious rider versus Zane. And Zane actually almost slid straight down the mountain because he made a little calculation error, and his front brake kind of locked up. It's definitely the quickest I've ever gone down here. As you can see, there is a trail, but it's very overgrown. We usually come out with the weed whackers and then we run through the whole trail, but we haven't really had time to do that yet, especially Trigger. This is one of the last climbs of the day, and yeah, this is very overgrown. You can like almost not see the trail at all when you're riding on it. Doing a little pivot turn here, the freaking rock that I was balancing on decided to cave in underneath my foot and landed on my foot. Zane looking very unimpressed. But just gotta soldier on. Now at this point, like, I really started getting fatigued, so the pace is gonna slow down significantly.
So tired.
Because the trail's a bit overgrown, and we obviously haven't ridden this section in quite a while, so you kind of have to pause and take a look and think like, oh, which direction am I supposed to go, and just kind of try and figure out where the line is running. Pivots. It's probably one of the most beneficial techniques that you can practice, especially doing hard enduro stuff. Heck, even just being able to turn around on the spot if you're like on tight single track or something, and it always looks kind of cool. And you can show off a bit in front of your mates. So practice your pivot turns, guys. The most impressive part about this little Chinese mountain goat, the KT250, I've put on about 47 hours on the bike now, and I have not used the Kickstarter once, not even one time. So for the guys that are thinking the Chinese bikes might be a bit unreliable, super reliable, definitely more reliable than pre-2016 European bike e-starts. And the motor is based on a Yamaha platform, so super reliable. Got a whole bunch of other power mods that are coming for this bike. We currently have a new exhaust that we are testing out. It's not on the bike yet in this video, but we'll have it on pretty soon. And we should also have the reworked head done in about a week or so. So maybe in like the next 2 videos we should have the better performing head and the better performing exhaust on, and I'm really curious to see how that improves the bottom end performance of the bike. And now we're reaching the end of Trigger, so now it's a quick little tedious descent, and by now, like, if you get to this point on the second lap, your arms are toast, your body's burning, you are so freaking fatigued. So these downhills are freaking sketchy. Really took a lot of breathers throughout the whole trail. It's obviously a lot more technical and condensed than what you would find in most races. So I don't really feel guilty stopping to take a breather. I know for a fact when race day comes and the track is obviously going to be a little bit less technical, I'll have no problems running without any stoppages. And as you guys saw, this is the last drive. This is the final climb. This is probably the most technical climb on the white section of the loop. But yeah, also a lot of fun. Really good to get up. Not a lot of stuff in the way. So yeah, that's pretty much our little technical loop at the Bronx. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know. If you want to see more voiceover commentary videos, if you have any questions, because I do Q&A videos as well, you are welcome to drop your videos in the comments or to DM me on Instagram or Facebook with your questions, and we'll throw together a Q&A video. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you made it to this point, I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the future of the channel. And yes, just a little sick wheelie from Zane. He really got his wheelies dialed now. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching and thanks for subscribing.